Citrulline Malate. Your pump isn't just for the mirror. That skin-splitting fullness after a hard set is blood, forced into the muscle by dilated vessels, and citrulline actually earns its spot in that process instead of riding the placebo effect. Here's the chain nobody explains at the gym counter. You eat citrulline, which your liver converts into arginine far more efficiently than eating arginine directly, since arginine taken as a pill gets destroyed by your gut before it reaches your bloodstream. Once converted in your kidneys, your body uses it to produce nitric oxide, a gas molecule that tells vessels to relax and widen. Wider vessels mean more blood, oxygen, and glucose reach working muscle mid-set, exactly when you're burning through both. That's the actual pump, not water retention. What most people miss, research shows a real but modest bump in reps to failure, usually a rep or two extra, showing up more reliably for higher rep training than heavy low rep singles. The dose matters more than people think. Most pre-workouts sprinkle in a gram or two just to put it on the label. Studies showing real benefit use 6 to 8 grams, taken 30 to 60 minutes before training. Anything less is decoration. Should you buy it? Pre-workout already has a proper dose, skip it separately. Underdosed, which most are, plain citrulline malate is cheap and one of the few pump ingredients with actual data behind it, L-Carnitine. The fat burner story around L-Carnitine has run for 3 decades, built on a genuinely real mechanism wrapped around a conclusion that mostly doesn't hold up under research. Carnitine's real job is transportation. Fat can't just float into your mitochondria and get burned for energy. It needs a shuttle across the mitochondrial membrane, and carnitine is that shuttle. Without enough carnitine, fatty acids pile up outside the powerhouse of the cell instead of getting fed into it. That's real biochemistry, exactly why the pitch sounds convincing. Here's where it falls apart. Your liver already produces plenty of carnitine, and any red meat adds more from food. The transport system usually isn't the bottleneck limiting fat loss. That's the calorie deficit, and no amount of shuttle molecules changes that math. Study after study on people with normal levels shows essentially no meaningful fat loss advantage over placebo. Where it does show a small, more legitimate benefit is exercise recovery and reduced soreness through mechanisms unrelated to fat burning. What most people miss, deficiency is real, but rare, mostly in specific medical conditions. Supplementing on top of an already sufficient level is like adding a second delivery truck to a warehouse that already has enough trucks. Should you buy it? For fat loss, skip it and put that money toward food you'll actually track. Curious about recovery, it's cheap and low risk, but don't expect the scale to move. HMB. HMB stands for beta-hydroxy beta-methylbutyrate, a metabolite your body already produces when digesting the amino acid leucine. About 5% of leucine converts into HMB naturally, which is why the pitch is built around skipping the middleman. The mechanism sounds airtight. HMB appears to suppress muscle protein breakdown via the ubiquitin proteasome system, essentially your body's demolition crew for unneeded protein. Less breakdown, in theory, means more net muscle retained, especially useful in a calorie deficit where your body is prone to cannibalizing muscle for energy. Here's the complication. The original studies that made HMB famous in the 90s were run on untrained beginners who respond to nearly anything. When researchers tested trained lifters with years of consistent training, the effect mostly disappeared. Breakdown in an experienced lifter eating enough protein is already fairly well controlled. What most people miss, this supplement's entire case rests on one scenario: an aggressive deficit with genuine risk of losing muscle alongside fat. Outside that, it has very little left to do. Should you buy it? Cutting hard? Already nailing protein? Worried about muscle loss? Legitimate case. Building in a surplus? Save the money. EAAs versus BCCAs. Essential amino acids and branched chain amino acids get lumped together, and the confusion is costing people money on the wrong product. BCAAs are 3 amino acids: leucine, isoleucine, and valine. EAAs are 9. The full set your body can't manufacture and must get from food, including those same 3 + 6 more your muscle needs to finish the job. Muscle protein synthesis needs a complete set of building blocks, not just 3 with a catchy name. Leucine flips the switch that starts building, but without the other essential aminos in enough quantity, your body pulls them from your own existing muscle. That's the mechanism that quietly undermines a BCAA-only supplement. EAA supplements solve this by including the complete set. Head-to-head research consistently shows EAA supplementation outperforming BCAA only for actual protein synthesis, giving your body what a full protein source would, just in a faster absorbing powder. What most people miss, neither beats a real complete protein like whey, chicken, or eggs once your daily target is met. EAA's advantage over whole food is digestion speed, not building power. A BCAAs alone are close to the least efficient amino acid purchase you can make. Should you buy it? Train fasted or need something fast digesting mid-session? EAAs beat BCAAs every time. Already eating enough complete protein, neither is doing much your diet isn't covering. Collagen peptides. Collagen is the most abundant protein in your body, the structural scaffold holding together tendons, ligaments, skin, and cartilage. And the supplement industry has turned it into a joint, health, and skin elasticity product, with a lot of hopeful marketing sitting on top of a smaller pile of real evidence. The problem starts with basic biochemistry. Collagen as a whole protein is a poor source of muscle-building amino acids, missing enough essential ones that it ranks near the bottom of protein quality scores, well below whey or even soy. Anyone taking it as their primary protein source expecting muscle growth is using the wrong tool. Where the case gets legitimate is connective tissue specifically. Several controlled studies gave athletes with joint pain a dose of collagen roughly 45 to 60 minutes before training, alongside vitamin C required to actually synthesize new collagen. Timing before exercise appears to matter, since that's when blood flow and mechanical loading to tendons is highest. What most people miss? Skin elasticity claims have thinner, more industry-funded research than the joint research. That doesn't mean zero effect, but the confidence level is lower than what's printed on the tub. Should you buy it? Nagging tendon or joint issues from repetitive heavy lifting, 15 grams with vitamin C before training is a low-risk, evidence-backed addition. As a protein source for muscle building, it's near the bottom of the list, turkesterone. Turkesterone exploded across supplement marketing as a natural steroid alternative, promising anabolic effects without the baggage of actual steroids. That claim alone should set off alarms, since biology doesn't usually hand out steroid-like results for free from a plant extract. It belongs to a class of compounds called EC-disteroids, naturally occurring in certain insects and plants, most famously a plant called Ajuga turkestanica, where the name comes from. The theoretical mechanism involves activation of estrogen receptor beta, a pathway that in rodent studies has shown some anabolic-like signaling separate from the pathway actual steroids use. Here's the gap the marketing doesn't address. Nearly all the promising data comes from rodent and cell studies, not humans. The handful of human trials that exist are small, often industry-funded, and haven't shown the dramatic gains the marketing implies. One recent, more rigorous human trial found essentially no measurable difference in strength or body composition versus placebo over 8 weeks. What most people miss, the hype cycle is built on extrapolating from mice to men. A jump biology punishes constantly. A compound working in a mouse cage is a hypothesis, not a conclusion. Should you buy it? Current human evidence doesn't support the anabolic claims driving sales. You're paying a premium for a supplement whose best evidence still lives in animal studies. Glucosamine and chondroitin. Cartilage doesn't have its own blood supply, exactly why joint damage heals so slowly, and why an entire supplement category exists, trying to feed it raw materials from the outside. Glucosamine and chondroitin are natural components of cartilage itself, the cushioning tissue between joints that takes a beating from years of heavy squats and deadlifts. The theory: supplement the building blocks of cartilage and give your body more material to repair with, particularly as natural production slows with age. The research is genuinely mixed. Some large trials, including a well-known one funded by the National Institutes of Health, found the combination performed no better than placebo for most participants with mild osteoarthritis, but meaningfully better in the subgroup with moderate to severe joint pain. An unusual result, a supplement that seems to do more for people who need it more. What most people miss: this isn't a muscle-building supplement, and taking it hoping for a strength benefit misunderstands what it's for. It's slow-acting, typically requiring 8 to 12 weeks of consistent use before any noticeable change, not something that works session to session like creatine. Should you buy it? Diagnose joint wear, particularly in the knees or hips from years of heavy compound movements. Legitimate, if modest, case for trying it for a few months. Joints feel fine, you're supplementing a problem you don't have yet. Thermogenic fat burners. Every fat burner on the shelf sells the same core promise with different packaging: that a pill can meaningfully raise how many calories your body burns at rest. The honest answer: most of what's in these products works on a small dial, not a light switch. The active ingredients doing the work are almost always some combination of caffeine, green tea extract, and occasionally synephrine or yohimbine. Caffeine and green tea catechins do have real thermogenic effects, raising metabolic rate slightly by increasing sympathetic nervous system activity and encouraging fat cells to release stored fat as fuel. Here's the catch the label never mentions. The measured effect in controlled studies is usually 50 to 100 extra calories per day, under ideal conditions with someone not already tolerant to caffeine. That's roughly the calorie cost of walking half a mile. Real, but nowhere close to what fat burning in bold letters implies. Synephrine and yohimbine push the stimulant effect harder, with a genuinely worse side effect profile, particularly stacked with high-dose caffeine. What most people miss: the category works best as a mild appetite suppressant during a diet, not a direct fat-melting mechanism. The fat loss still comes from the calorie deficit. The stimulant just makes staying in it slightly more tolerable. Should you buy it? Caffeine sensitivity isn't an issue. A modestly dosed product with mainly caffeine and green tea extract is low risk. Skip anything stacking multiple aggressive stimulants.